Hello and welcome to your yoga session. I'm Patty, I'll be your instructor. Let's go ahead and start today by either taking a seat on the floor on something. I'm sitting on some blankets. You could find blankets or you could find really, really stiff pillows. Nothing soft because that'll squish under you. Or you could find a chair. If you do choose to be in a chair, scoot all the way to the front of the chair so that your feet are placed flat on the floor and you've got something to push into to elongate your spine. So whether you're in a chair or on the floor on some blankets or a pillow or even a yoga block, let's start by finding a comfortable seated posture. I've got my legs crossed here. It's a pose called Sukhasana. This one works, especially when you're sitting up on something. But wherever your legs need to go for you to be comfortable, please get there and then find your breath. You'll find your breath first outside of your nose, then you'll feel it in your throat, and just soften your gaze or even close your eyes if you'd like, lowering the inner gaze without lowering your face, and just tune in to the natural rhythm and flow of your breath, welcoming the nourishing, life-giving inhale part of your breath, and relishing the cleansing, life-saving exhale part of your breath. Now let's transition the point of origin of your breath from outside of your nose to down in your belly. And even though we don't really breathe with the belly, it seems like we are when we do diaphragmatic breathing. So if you'd like, you can place your hands on your low belly, and as you inhale, allow your belly to fill into your hands. And as you exhale, allow your belly to pull back to your spine. If you feel like you're doing this the opposite way, you're a reverse breather. About half of us are reverse breathers. So you want to relearn the correct way. This soft diaphragmatic breathing, filling the belly as you inhale, allowing the breath to lift up the spine, and then drawing the belly back to your spine as you exhale. Let's do that once more. Inhale, fill your low belly. Allow the breath to lift up the spine. Maintain any length that you got as you allow the breath to slide back down, drawing the belly back down to your spine. All right, let's go ahead and set an intention now. So I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart in the Anjali Mudra, what we call the prayer mudra around here. Pressing your palms, thumbs, and fingers gently together. Pull your shoulders gently apart, and you'll feel your heart lift and open. And as your heart lifts and opens, take a moment and set an intention for yourself. Claim for yourself what it is that you want, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Take just another moment with this intention. And so it is. Blink your eyes open if they were closed. Inhale big. And then a big sigh out. Bringing your hands down. And let me introduce our guest, Mebi, today. And we're going to work on a simple twisting routine today. So you're welcome to stay on your blankets. And I think I'm going to keep Mebi on her blankets. Or if you're really comfortable on the floor, you're welcome to come off of your blankets and put the legs side by side. You can go ahead and stay on your blankets though if you want. So you can come into a Sirsasana, legs side by side, or you can stay in the Sukhasana. And I tell you what, Mebi, you're so flexible. I'm going to take the blankets out from under you while you sit in Sirsasana because I know this is more comfortable for you. We will be coming back to the blankets, so don't let them get too far away. We're going to begin with some simple sufi rolls. These are going to put the spine through its range of motion as well as opening up deeper into the hips and the knees and the ankles. So holding on to the front of your shins, inhale and allow your breath to lift up your spine. And then as you exhale, fold your heart towards the floor as you pull your belly back to your spine. And then let's go ahead and move to the left to begin with. And then hold on to your shins. It's all right, Mebs. And then drop back, arching like a cat, bringing your heart back down towards the floor. So while you and Mebi do these Sufi rolls, let me tell you a little bit about them. Your spine is so wonderfully mobile. And as you move through these rolls, especially the forward part where you're pressing your heart and the back part where you're pulling your heart back, you're flexing, arching, and extending your spine. You're enabling some movement to come into the joints that are in between each of the 26 or so bones of your back. Also, while you're doing the Sufi rolls, you're dramatically moving lymph fluid around in the torso where the lymph nodes are. You're releasing stagnant fluid and energy, and you're improving your body's ability to digest food. When you've made these circles as big and wide and deep in this direction as you can, when you feel complete, the next time that you come up, stay up. Now we're going to go ahead and twist these sufi rolls. So maybe if you'll bring your right arm behind your back and place it there, and then cross the left arm over. So Mebi's going to go upside down with this left arm so that the back of her wrist is on top of that thigh. This is for leverage. Be careful with leverage. You want to push to your limit where you can still breathe. You don't want to be too comfortable, but you don't want it to hurt either. So press down with the hips, lift with the crown of your head, inhale up the spine, and as you exhale, just turn your shoulders to the right. You're going to press with the back of that forward wrist, bringing these forward ribs around just a little bit more. And in this posture, we want to find as much extension of the spine as possible. The more extension we put in the spine, the more rotation we'll get out of it. So as Mebi inhales, she might loosen the twist just a little, allowing the inhale to lift up, and then the exhale, you actually use the twist to get an even more thorough exhale. Now we're going to bring it into the neck. So inhale, lift. Exhale, twist, and look over your right shoulder. Stay here and breathe, and allow the breath to be pressurized so that you're kind of pushing against the twist for the inhale, and then you're using the twist to get that full exhale. Once more, inhale here, and then as you exhale, gently release the posture through your torso, bringing yourself back to facing forward, and pause for just a moment. And when you pause, feel the lower side of one half of your body and feel the upper side of the other half of your body. And allow your mind to switch cross pattern and notice if there's an opening or a spaciousness or a zhuzhing feeling in that part of those parts of the body. All right, bring your legs out. Let's do the other side. Rock to release any tension that built up in the knees or the ankles, and then change the crossing of your legs. So now Mebi's got her other leg in front, and we'll do sufi rolls in the other direction. So we moved to the left last time, we'll go to the right this time. Hands are on your shins, inhale, exhale, fold, bringing your heart towards the floor, and then circles to your left. Feel free to roll around on your sit bones, those two bony structures down at the bottom of the pelvis. There's very few poses in yoga that have you doing this asymmetrical pressure on the sit bones, so it's an excellent opportunity to keep the low back safe and to get into just a little bit of movement through the lumbar spine. It doesn't take much in the lumbar. It's your thoracic and cervical that get a lot more rotation. Making your circles as big and wide and deep as you possibly can, allowing the breath to animate the posture, finding a place where there's a natural inhale, and then finding a place where you can use the pose to facilitate the thoroughness of the exhale. And then when you feel complete, the next time you come up, stay up and pause. And again, tune in now to the other hip, the other shoulder, and just see how you feel. Then let's twist. So now it's the left arm that comes behind you. The right arm crosses over. It goes upside down on that thigh, and this is to prevent you from grabbing the knee and picking it up like that, which is the no. There's the yes. You're going to use the leverage of the hand behind you to help extend the spine up. That's the inhale. And then on the exhale, pull your left shoulder back and use the back of that right wrist to press those right ribs around a little bit more. Keep your neck soft. We're beginning this twist in the thoracic spine. So you want your sit bones that you rolled around on in sufi rolls to be stationary. You want to anchor both sides of the hips into the mat. So you might feel one side getting a little light as you twist. Whatever it takes through the low belly and the QLs on the pelvis, press down so that both sit bones are evenly anchored. Use that leverage to allow yourself to lift the inhale up the three major curves of your back, and then use the twist to exhale out, squeezing through your rib cage. After about 30 seconds or so of these twists, then we bring the neck in. So inhale, lift. Exhale, twist and look over your left shoulder. Keeping both hips pressing down evenly. The lumbar spine does not rotate. We're rotating through the mid-back and up into the neck. And you want to breathe with pressure, proving to your central nervous system that you can. Take another inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly release the posture, bringing yourself back forward and feel. Just tune into the tissue, muscles. And then release. Bring the legs out, rock. And as long as we're here, let's go ahead and roll out the ankles. The synovial joints in our body, which most of the joints are named synovial joints because of the synovial cells that line the joints. And when we roll them in circles, we excite those synovial cells and they create the synovial fluid needed to cushion and cleanse those joints. So once you've gone one way, then go the other way. And you're attempting to try to get toes at some point to touch the floor. Mebby and I both have very flexible ankles, and I think it helps with balance tremendously. So even if you start with little tiny circles, with repeated and consistent practice, those circles will get bigger and bigger, increasing your range of motion through your ankles as well as the strength and suppleness of those ankles. Now we're going to twist some more and stretch out hamstrings. So we'll begin with the legs coming straight away from us. The heels of the hands pressed down by the hips. You lift the heart up. This particular pose is called Dandasana, and we're going to twist and fold Dandasana. So let's bring the right leg back so that the sole of the right foot is on the inside of the left thigh. If your knee is way up and you want to place a blanket under it, you may. From here, bring your left hand behind your back. Your right hand grabs hold of your knee. Now, I know that you can get your foot, but most people can't. Mebby can actually bring her flat back all the way forward, but I'm going to have her resist for right now. This is the posture that most of us are a little more comfortable in. Push down with your sit bones. Anchor both sit bones firmly into the floor. Inhale, using that pressure, that downward pressure to lift up from. Exhale around to your left, looking over your left shoulder. We're bringing this all the way up. We can. There's a bone in the throat called the hyoid that we're not worried about in this posture, so we can go ahead and twist. And you should feel this twist in a different part of the body than you felt the twist earlier. This one drops a little bit lower and crosses the belly. So anything touching the mat, push down into the mat, lift up, inhale around to the left. Exhale, deepening the twist. Take one more breath here, and then exhale and release and bring yourself back forward. Now we're going to flat back fold to begin with. So inhale, lift your back, and as you exhale, just walk your fingers down your legs or down the mat, trying to flat back forward. So now those two sit bones in the back are kind of lifting up as you tilt your pelvis forward. Don't worry about your shoulders or your chin reaching your foot. Neither your shoulders nor your chin probably will get there, so don't even try. Try to bring your heart forward, as if you were bringing your heart towards your foot, and bring the toes back towards your heart, stretching the bottom of the body. Take one more full inhale with the flat back. And now on the exhale, fold and round your back and just sort of surrender down into the pose, allowing the weight of the back of the body to open up through the back of this left leg. Take another inhale here. And on the exhale, use your hands on the mat or your leg to gently walk yourself back up, pausing at the top. Just feel. And then when you're ready, you'll pick that knee up, bring both legs out, rock to release any tension that you built up in the pose, and then let's do the other side. So now draw that left leg back. The sole of that left foot's going to go on the inside of the right thigh. If this knee is way high and you want to put a blanket underneath the knee, not for Mebby, but for some of you, me included, it might look like that. Anything touching the mat or the blanket, press down. Use that downward force to lift up. Inhale. And exhale around to the right, going ahead and looking over your right shoulder right off the bat. We don't have to avoid the hyoid here. Notice how this twist has changed. pressing internally, pressing that left knee into the blanket or into the floor as you lift up and around to the right. And you might start to feel that cross pattern stretch drop down into the lower belly. Take another in-breath here. Exhale deeply into the twist. Make yourself as tight as you can and still be able to breathe. Take another in-breath. And exhale, release, and bring your torso back forward. Again, we're going to fold a flat back forward to begin with so that we can try to get up into the hips where the insertion points for the hamstrings are there. Inhale, lift your heart. And as you exhale, just walk your hands down your leg or down the mat and bring your heart towards your toes. Remembering to push down to come up. You might lift just a little bit on the inhale. And then as you pull the belly back to the spine for the exhale, you might fold just a little bit more. Toes coming back, heart coming forward. Now inhale. And as you exhale, surrender into the pose and just fold all the way down. Let your head fold down. You'll start to feel the stretch in the back of your neck. You might feel it behind your ears, between your shoulders. Just allowing the weight of the back of the body to slowly and gently open up the back of this right leg. Long, smooth, deep breaths. Inhale here. And as you exhale, place your hands on the mat or on your leg and slowly walk your torso back up. And pause for just a minute and feel. And then pick that left knee up, bring your legs out. Rock to release any tension that you might have built in the legs. And let's return to Dandasana. So both legs are coming straight, toes are pulling back. If you're pretty tight in the hips and you want to go hip width apart with your feet, that's just fine. If you've got plenty of room in the hips and you want to go into a closed position, that's just fine too. The heels of your hands are going to press down by your hips, and you're going to use the downward leverage to lift up as you inhale. Allow the belly to seemingly fill, and then as you exhale, pull the belly back to your spine. Think about your sternum, the bony chest protection, rising towards the throat as your scapulas, your shoulder blades are lowering towards your back waist, shoulders spreading away from each other. If the heels can lift off the floor, do not do that. Push the heels into the floor. At the same time, engage all through the knees. You might have to put something behind your knees, which is fine. You don't want the back of the knees to go to the mat. If they can, just don't do it and slide a pillow or a blanket underneath the back of the knees. All right. Good job. We have come to the upside down portion of today's session. So we're going to use the blankets. And we're going to put Mebby on the blankets so that her sacrum is on the blankets. So I'll place them and turn around. And I don't want her head on the mat. Just in case she turns her head, I don't want it to be on the mat because the mat is a grippy mat and I don't want to challenge the muscles of the neck. So Mebby, I'm going to let you lay your head back here on our beautiful floor. Yep. So what we've done is we've put these blankets now underneath her hips. She's going to bring her knees into the belly. With the knees here, check and see if you're comfortable. If there's a pinchy feeling, you can scoot either direction on the mat. You good? From here, if you're comfortable, let your legs go up into the air. This is another excellent opportunity for rolling through the ankles, looking for the range of motion there. This is also an excellent opportunity to spread and clench your toes. And if the toes all don't spread, if you have one lazy toe like right here, eyeball it. And then it spreads. We don't know why it works, but it does. This is also a great opportunity while you're upside down to squeeze and release the muscles of your legs to the bones of your legs. Being upside down is one of the most healing postures that we have in yoga. That's why we've created so many ways to do it. This is just the safest way to do it. I teach yoga therapeutically, and so far all of my students have been able to do this, whether they're a seasoned yogic practitioner like Mebby or they're somebody brand new to it. And all body sizes so far have been able to do this as well. And those of you that have used a chair, don't go upside down in the chair. We can come up with chair yoga at another session. After you have moved through the muscles of the legs and the ankles, as I said, squeezing and releasing, allowing the lymph fluid to drain back down to the torso, allowing the valves in your veins to have a different aspect of gravity placed on them, then just be still and feel yourself being upside down, allowing gravity to go with the fluid, allowing the blood that's coming back to the heart, that trip with gravity. We've also lifted the hips above the heart, so releasing stagnant fluid and energy that might have built up in the compression of the digestive tract. Just soften your belly and breathe, and enjoy your time upside down. We'll take just another moment here, and then we'll be setting up for Savasana. All right, inhale. And as you exhale, bring your feet down to the mat. Press into your feet and lift your hips. While your hips are in the air, I'll get it, you can move the blankets out from underneath you and then lower your hips back down to the mat. Now, since I've scooted her off the mat, we're going to reposition her. Bring your knees into your belly, roll to your right, press up and scoot back onto the mat. From here, we're going to do 3 squeezes, so bring your knees into your belly, wrap your arms around your legs, inhale, and exhale. Squeeze yourself into a tiny ball, then loosen, inhale, then exhale, squeeze, pull the belly back, and again, loosen, inhale, exhale, squeeze, and then release, and let your legs go long down the mat. Rock your hips side to side, letting the low back get comfortable. Let your upper back flatten and your palms face up. And you're coming into the most important pose in all of yoga, your Savasana. In your Savasana, your limbic system, little organelles deep inside the brain, are going to release old patterns of behavior and adopt new patterns based on what you just taught yourself. So your Savasana gives you a new baseline from which to work. Your only jobs here are to release and to observe. So allow your belly to soften. Release your shoulders. Imagine that your shoulders are melting down your arms. Imagine that your palms feel like puddles. Swallow, releasing through your throat, letting the skin on your cheeks go slack. Allow your tongue to rest gently in the back of your mouth, releasing any unspoken words as you allow your tongue to spread side to side. Soften your face. Bring your gaze inward. Be brave and release the grip of your brain, letting it rest gently in the back of your skull. Let your skull widen and spread on the mat. Find your front body, and in its entirety, let it melt into your back body. Then let your back body melt into the mat, into the floor, into the ground. In the final few moments of your Savasana, just observe your breath as it moves through your body. Observe yourself releasing any tension, whether it's new or long held. Observe your mind. Notice what thoughts you let go of, and notice yourself bringing your mind back to your breath and back to your body. For the next few moments, just be tuning in, and to the best of your ability, find, feel, and follow the various vibrations of you. All right, and now gently begin to deepen your breathing. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, and then make circles with your wrists and your ankles, big wide circles one direction and then the other. And then reach your arms up long and stretch your fingers away from your feet. You can point your toes, you can flex your feet, making space through your belly. And release. Draw your knees into your belly and then roll to your right and make a pillow for your head with your right arm. Pause here while your body transitions and take this moment and thank yourself for your practice, enabling the gifts and the benefits to continue to penetrate to every level, including the deepest level. Inhale. And on the exhale, use mostly the strength of your left arm to gently press yourself up, coming into any seated posture that you'd like to be in. Your legs can be straight, you can sit on the blankets, whatever you want to do. Just bring your hands back to your heart. This time, as your heart lifts and opens, bow your head into the lifting and opening actions. And take this moment to honor the truth, the light, and the wisdom existing within every cell of your body. May you be peaceful. May you experience poise, equanimity. May you be well. Namaste.